Okay, so I about multiple constructors, and now I'm going to be talking about inheritance. So, inheritance, it's pretty basic. It's pretty simple to understand. It may be a bit confusing, but basically, what we're going to do is we're going to create another class. We'll name it cats. I don't know why, but we name it cats. So, now what we can do is we can type extends and then Fred. So you can see here we have an error. So what it's telling us is extends means everything in this class. Everything in here is now in here. So even though it's not here, it also, you see, it's telling us we need to add a constructor. So let's just actually erase this. We'll do something else. So void add numbers. Sure, why not? Int I, int j. Int k equals I plus j. And this out I plus space plus, yeah, plus j. So I'm just putting some spaces in here. Okay. And I need another plus. Okay, so now we have our Fred over here equals new Fred, and then f dot add numbers 10, 15. So 10 plus 15 is 25. So yeah, that's simple. But what extends does is now create a cats. So we'll just erase this. Cats, C equals new cats. Then we can still do C dot add numbers. 10, 26. If you run that, you get 10 plus 26 is 36. So the reason it does that is because as I said, everything in here, so our one method in here can be used in a cats object. Now, the reason we had an error before about constructors is let's just change this. We'll get rid of that. And actually let's make it private int k, no, not k, I, j. So now we have I and j as integers. So now let's make our constructor. Int num1, int num2. I equals num1, j equals num2. Okay, so now when we create our Fred, we have to enter the two numbers there. And then if we do Fred.addNumbers, and it's now no parameters, Sorry about that. It went weird, but so ignore that error, and you get 10 plus 26 is 36. And then, but now we see over here, we have an error. So if we click this, then what it does is, since this extends the Fred class, it inherits everything in the Fred class, then it still has to do the same constructor as the Fred class. So now if we change this to a cat, or cats, then it does the exact same thing. But actually, let's change these to a protected. And I think in the next tutorial I'm going to teach you about, so now you've seen 3 different things: protected, public, and private. I'm going to tell you about those pretty soon. I'm not sure exactly when, but probably in the next 2 or 3 tutorials. So now what we can do, since we inherited everything from here, we can actually change the methods. So public void add numbers, and then this green arrow here, it means we're taking this, we're overriding this method. So whenever we have a cats object, then whatever we type here is going to do this. So I know it says add numbers, but let's make it multiply too. So also what the super does is, super means superclass, or the class that it's inheriting everything from. So in this case the superclass is Fred, so super num1 num2 means it's doing this constructor. So we can also do we're going to do some multiplication. So you can also do super dot add numbers. So that does the old add numbers method, because we still want that, but then we want to also multiply it. So then int k1 equals I times j. And the reason we don't have to say I times j anywhere is because it inherits it out of the Fred class right here. So I and j are going to be whatever these two are. And then what we're going to do is we're going to print out I plus times plus j plus equals plus k1. So now if you run this, then you get 10 plus 26 equals 36, and 10 times 26 equals 260. And that's because f.add numbers are cats. F.add numbers is this, add numbers. Super.add numbers means it does this, and then it does whatever's after that. And also this isn't the only constructor you can use. You can have stuff after here too, like sysout num1 and sysout num2. And you run that, you can see 10, 26. But this, when you're making a new class and then it extends something, it's inheriting from something, then in your constructor the super call must come first. So like you see, if we try to put this above it, then we're going to get an error that the constructor must be the first statement. But in any other void, that's only in constructors. So we don't even have to have this here. If we got rid of that completely, then we're just going to get 10 times 26. The reason we did have to retype everything in here. So that's the basics of inheritance. And yeah, I think in the next tutorial I'm going to talk about what public, private, and protected mean. Because now that I've covered inheritance, I can explain what those mean fully. So that's going to be the end of this tutorial. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, like it. If you want to see more, subscribe to my channel. If you have suggestions for what I should cover next, then leave a comment on that. And if I need to go over anything again, if I was confusing on anything, then leave a comment on that too, and I'll go over it as soon as I can. Bye.